Hi everyone, this is Tammy, your host and owner of Worthyworthitpriceless, and today's podcast is titled It's Worth It. And you see the thumbnail, that is my daughter, Yavea, and this podcast is basically inspired by her. My daughter hates to get her hair washed, and it is a whole process. It involves a lot of kicking and screaming, and so I put the shampoo on her hair, and she's kicking and screaming for that. And then, I put her underneath the water or whatever, and that's a whole process. Kicking, screaming as well. And like I said, you would think that I was murdering her. But I can usually calm her down somewhat by giving her kisses, but it still doesn't, she still is kicking and screaming, whatever. But once she's done, and she's done being mad at me for washing her hair, I take her to the mirror and let her look at herself, and then she's happy, like she's looking in the mirror. But the process isn't done. I still have to style her hair. So once again, that is another process. And with that process as well, it is kicking and screaming, but that one is more or less fighting as well. But once she's done and she looks at herself, she's happy at what she sees. And what I realized, that is the same thing of how we are with God in our lives. We don't want to go through the process. We just want to get to the next step. But in order for us to get to the next step, God has to clean things off of us. We can't go into the next place where God is sending us with the old and bruised, damaged self that we are. We need God to clean us off and wash us off and help us through those processes. It's not easy, but you have to realize, just like with my daughter's hair, I can't put her into a new hairstyle with the old product buildup that's on her hair. The hairstyle, even if it might look good, is still dirty and it won't work. And that's how it is with us. If we don't get cleaned off, when God takes us into that next dimension, we won't be able to stay there, because there's still things that we haven't fixed, we haven't worked through, and we haven't been cleansed of. Even if you're not a person that is like how they say, like a bag lady or a bag man or whatever, and you're not carrying on the situations of your past, they're still there if you haven't worked through them. And that's why I believe like a lot of people is going through things because they haven't dealt with anything in their life. And sometimes we walk around, myself included, as if nothing happened. But in all actuality, you're still hurting from your past and you haven't dealt with those things. And in the process, you have to work through those in order, like I said, to get to the next level. You'll never be happy at the next level if you don't deal with the things that you're going through right now. So what God is doing, He isn't being mean to you. He isn't punishing you, but there is things that you have to go through. There's a greater life on the other side of the challenges that you're going through, but you'll never get there if you're holding on to the past. God wants you to be happy. And you'll never be happy if you're just holding on to everything that somebody else told you, all negative situations or anything. And we would want it to be easier because we don't want to have, I know me, who wants to go through anything, like, for the most part. I would rather just give me the blessing. I don't have to go through all this other situations. But I realize that if I don't go through those things, I will never be sustained in where God is taking me. Because you have to realize that this isn't the next level isn't the only level that God is taking you to. And like a lot of people sometimes want overnight success, but we've seen people who have overnight success and then they can't handle the stress, and then the next thing you know, they're falling off, or they're committing suicide, or they're hooked on to drugs or pills or anything like that, because they actually possibly didn't do the work or whatever, or didn't deal with their past demons. And that's what God is trying to do for us. And the thing is, you got to trust the process. Right now, especially with the whole coronavirus, and then everybody has to be quarantined, now is the perfect time to actually just look over your life and see what needs to be done, what needs to be worked on, even within yourself, not just cleaning up the house. If there's things that you need to work on within yourself, take out this time and really look within yourself, look within your finances, look within, even with your job. Is this where you want to be once this is all said and done? Is there something else that you would like to do? And right now, basically, it's the perfect time to do all of those things. And just basically that, during this time, don't waste this time in just watching TV or being on social media. Start really reevaluating your life and seeing if this is what you really want to do, or where your life is headed, if this is the path that you want to go on, or should you make a turn? Because like I said, this is the perfect time to do it, because who knows how long this will last or whatever, but at least you could try to get yourself together, because that's what's important right now. It's important to get yourself together. Just like I said, back to the story, but like with my daughter, like once all that is done, all the kicking and screaming is done, and she looks at herself and she smiles at herself or does her little poses, it's all worth it. It's worth the hurt, pain, or not pain, like for her hair, but you know what I mean? It is, it's all worth it. You know what I mean? It's worth it, and you will see that as well in your life. It's not as bad as what sometimes we make it through. It's uncomfortable. It's things that we don't want to have to go through. But at the end of the day, when you see where God is taking you, it will be all worth it. And you'll be glad that God took you through that process. There's things in our life that are, like I said, uncomfortable. We don't want to go through it. No one wants to go through the washing and the cleansing of God, basically, the trials and tribulations that you have to go through, but you will be so much better on the other side. I'm not saying that you're not going to kick and scream or whatever, because that's normal. But at the end of the day, just realize that God has a process for everything that you're going through. And once you're on the other side, you will realize that it was all worth it. So with that being said, just want to give you encouragement for this time that we're all going through, and hopefully it helps you. So also, if you want to keep connected to me, or keep being connected to me, however that goes, I am on all social media under Worthyworthitpriceless, and on Instagram there is other multiple pages. There's Worthyworthitpriceless, it's just the main page, and then there's one just for the podcast, and that's just to keep you up to date on whatever podcast that I have. And like I said, I'm on all other social medias as well, and soon, by the grace of God, once everything is done, I will start back to doing videos. So I'm just getting all the equipment together and making sure that the videos are correct. So if you want to do that as well, it's on YouTube under Worthy, Worth It, and Priceless. You can go and subscribe now and just be there before I start doing videos again. But until next time, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Thank you for all your support. And until next time, bye.